Hello everyone, welcome. Today I have what I think turned out to be a really interesting video about puzzles. I decided to play chess.com puzzle rushes, and I played a set of 3 rushes and basically made a mistake in a total of 9 puzzles. And I saved the links and then decided to replay them for the video. So you'll have all my thinking there, and you'll see how I suffer trying to solve them. And I have to say, I'm surprised how much I've learned. I did cut the video a bit to shorten it so it doesn't take way too long. The video is still long, but I'll put timestamps in description. So I suggest you try to solve the puzzles with me. And if you do manage to solve puzzles, maybe some of them faster than me, then you can skip to next one if you don't want to watch me suffer. But there are quite a few instructive moments in them, and I'd especially suggest the last one, which really showed me how important it is to have a structured way of thinking and be precise in your calculations. And also in some others, you'll find maybe interesting patterns to you. And maybe my biggest mistake in all of this was that I was a bit distracted while doing them. I was watching Title Tuesday and listening to music, so that didn't help me. So I leave you to puzzles. I think it's a really nice training, so be sure to try to solve them. Good luck. Okay, this is the first puzzle. It should be fairly simple. It's only 300 rated. It's actually, there's something tricky about it. It has 78 pass rate, which is quite low for such low level puzzle. But it tricked me because I was distracted and watching stream and listening to music instead of watching the board. So let's see what I mistaked. I have to click play problem. Okay, this is the position we are looking at. I think when I made the mistake, I just picked up this bishop, thinking that I have something with takes, but it's total nonsense, because if I take the bishop, he can just he cannot take this rook because it's checkmate, but he can simply take the queen here. So black has this threat. The queen can barely move, so it's quite simple. So if I can give him the check, it's checkmate. So obviously I cannot play through the bishop, but I can distract the bishop with check, and this is checkmate. Okay. I mean, so what's the lesson in this one? It's just simple to look at opponent's threats. That's a must, because you have to look the whole board. Here he wants to take the queen, and then it's just basic distraction. This puzzle is 1900 rated, and it has only 31 pass rate, so hey. The fact that I actually made a mistake is not so bad at the moment. Let's see, play the problem. So it's black to play, and what do we have here? The first thing I notice here is that if I can exchange the queens, that I'm winning. Basically, I'll create a passed pawn, but I'll create a passed pawn anyway, even if he has a3, b4, and I'll promote in 3 moves while he needs 4. So that's one thing, and I should be looking at checks probably. And here it's very important to visualize the king movements. So for example, this check, let's do it this way. A queen is very crafty piece, it has many checks. There is this one check and this one. So we have 4 checks that we can calculate. Do we have more? I don't think so. We have this one. We have 5 checks. Obviously, this one is nonsense, this one as well. So we have 3 checks on E. And let's see what are the king's options. If we go for... usually the strongest checks are the ones where the queen is the closest, because it limits the king so much. So queen to e5 is possibly the strongest move, in which case he has only 2 squares to run away, this one and this one. If he plays here, I have simple... No, I don't have checkmate, but if he plays here, okay, I can give him the check, and he has to take, and then I play b4 and it's a win. And I think this is solution actually, because looking at the... I looked at the right square first. So if I give him again the check here, the other option is for him to go to h4, in which case I can again check him this way, and he has to take, I take back, and whatever he plays, I'll promote my points here. So that's the one, we don't need to check the others. Check, 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 and it should be over. Here we want to move the passed pawn. This is the one which is not opposed. Simple. Nice one. The last question we need to answer is, why did I made a mistake in the first one? Actually, I don't remember currently what I played by. I presume that I was too lazy to calculate it. That's the one problem. For these harder puzzles, like 2000 rated and stronger, it's not just a simple one move solution, but you need to calculate a bit and to basically to visualize the fields that king can go to, and then to calculate both. I likely played... intuition tells me that this could be a strong move because it limits this field. Let's analyze why this doesn't win. If I play here, okay, the king is here, and if I check him from this side, he has... okay, he can run away here, and this check doesn't work because now the king is too close. Same, and king now can catch up the pawn. This one is 2047. Let's go try to solve it. Then again, with these harder puzzles, it takes a bit more calculation, and that's like something probably that I was too lazy to do. Next time I make a mistake, I think I'll try to write down what I was thinking when I decided to play the wrong move, because I again can't remember. I think I had no idea what to play here, and that I went with knight to d5, just hoping that it works, but it didn't work. Okay, so let's look at the features of this position. Material is equal. We have the pressure on f7 file, and basically we have 1 check and 2 captures, 3 captures. We can capture these guys. This we can capture multiple times. And let's calculate check with the bishop. And that's winning a pawn, at least temporarily. So captures, check. If he takes back, I take back, and I win material, so he has to go to the h8. In which case I have maybe this discovery to d5. Now I'm threatening checkmate. So in that case, he has to capture my rook. I capture back. So the king is in corner, my rook is here. I want the pawn, but he can now capture my bishop. With the knight, I capture back, he captures, I take here. And I mean, I'm better, but it doesn't look... It's likely winning, but it doesn't look like completely winning. What if I capture with the rook? Then I threaten discoveries and I threaten checkmate in one. In that case, he has to either move, he cannot move, he has to take back, and I take again with the rook. Now I'm again threatening to win the knight. Or bishop, so he basically, he cannot save both. It's check, he has to go to the corner to h8, so the rook is here and I win the knight. And then if he doesn't go in the corner, he loses. So rook takes is the winning move. And then again I capture with the rook and this should be over. And that's about my calculation. I didn't even found this move for him. Luckily it works for me because I can take twice and this pawn is defended with the knight. So this works, but I'm lucky. And now I'm a piece up. Okay, the lesson here being is to calculate to the end. So after I take, it took me some time, but I recognize that this is winning, but I should have expect this move, in which case it's quite simple to see that if I take, he takes, I have this pawn defended. Yeah, very nice puzzle. This is the fourth puzzle. This is 1600 rated puzzle. And here I also played something dumb and made a mistake. Okay, so what do we have here? Black just captured the pawn on d5. And there's lots going on here. So first things I see is that my queen is looking at his rook, so that's potential danger for me. And then he attacks my bishop here, but I can take this multiple times. I can also take this pawn. I can also take this guy. I have no checks, so I have to here 3 captures. The queen is also in the range of the knight with these ideas. I can also capture. The knight is also well defended. But I can just win the knight, right? So I have knight attacked 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And it's defended only twice. But the catch is that I need to move my queen. So if the queen wasn't here, I could have just win the knight, right? So how do I solve my queen issue? Basically, his queen is undefended and it's here, so if I take the knight, I could just take bet, take, he takes, I could take the queen and could lose my queen and win the rook, but he has, so the knight has to survive actually to attack queen. So I think the first move would be to take this way, in which case if he takes this way, my queen is under attack. Now I can take with the queen, with the knight. Let's see. So I take, that's piece up, equal. piece up, and he takes my queen. I take, I'm still piece up, and he plays. And he has to move the rook, so he wins a pawn, I piece up, and then I win in exchange. And this should be winning. Now, does he have anything better? So I take this, and he immediately takes with the bishop. I just calculated that I'll take with the knight, and I'm fine. I mean, technically this pawn is pinned, but I cannot attack this one. There are more. I can even take with the rook, but I don't see why would I do that when I have these two pieces here. I can also take this way, but then he takes back and there's little to it. So I think in the end it's this way. So now we want to take with the knight, and because he decided this way, we'll just take this one. Okay, nice puzzle. So this one is again 1600 rated puzzle. Well, I should have solved this properly, but hey, let's do it now. So the white picks up the pawn attacking my queen, and here we have Alyakin's gun, or Alyakin's. And let's see, our queen is under attack. And the position is quite open, so let's see. We have several checks, let's note that. These are all queen checks. We have also captures, several captures. So it looks like prime time for attacks, and we have beautifully centralized knight that can do some damage, even attack the queen. Let's try to eliminate this check. We lose the queen, so nothing. This check here, we also lose the queen, nothing. This check doesn't work. There are these two. Yeah. See, the queen is a very tricky piece. It can check the king at 6 squares. Yeah. These two obviously do not work because the rook will take us. So we have check here or check here. The knight is undefended, but if we check it, so we do, for example, check, knight goes back. So now knight is defended. And I don't think we have good continuation after that. So it's likely not a queen check. We do have this move, for example. But then we'll actually lose the queen after the check. Yeah, we are losing the queen. So what else we can do? We can take the rook. He has to take back, so we take again. So we have double rooks here. We are maybe, let's say, equal in material, slightly ahead. The queen has to move, and he has only this ones. Yeah, the queen has no squares, so queen has to go something like here, and then we give the check with the other rook. It doesn't matter which one. And that's winning the queen, so he has to take back. We take back check, and we can even pick up this pawn with the rook. And this is completely winning. We want the rook basically, and he can maybe defend this. We want the rook and the pawn, he can defend the bishop, but it's game over. So the solution is to take, and that's it. Fairly simple. I'm actually not sure what I did. Yeah. Yeah, I think I now remember. When I first played this, I just went with this lazy. Hey, I have the, because it was early, it was 1600. I have the knight, but he obviously goes back. This one is only 1500 rated. Let's go see. Now, the other thing that I noted while recording this last one is that maybe I'm too slow. It took me quite some time to look at all the checks, but I don't know, in the game we don't have so much time. That's one thing. While still, it's probably easier for you to follow if I don't hurry too much. So let's see what's happening in this one. Black just moved bishop, attacking my bishop. He wants to ruin my pawn structure. And let's see here. It took me some time to figure out some of these bishop positions, but basically we have two bishops and we should note the relation on diagonals. The first thing I see here is that I maybe could pin the queen and the king. Now that's not possible at the moment. And provided that I don't see anything quick, we can of course capture and then check. Provided that I don't see anything quick, I would go to my default mode and maybe look first for checks and then captures. And here takes, check. He goes to the side and I don't see anything quick, so let's go to the default. First we have no checks. We have this move, in which case he can play anything, and we can just recapture. I take. He cannot recapture, so if I play this move, he cannot recapture because after I take, he loses the bishop. I take its check, so he loses the bishop. So actually this is interesting move. He also cannot move the queen away, but he can just protect it. Let's say he plays this way. The queen is pinned, so then we can win the bishop. This could be the move. So watch this. I play here, so he cannot capture. He will lose the bishop after takes check. So he decides to defend this way. In which case, I can just capture the bishop, and he cannot take back because it's a check. So he has to take my queen. In which case, I take back with a check. He has to move the king, and I've just won the bishop. Does he have anything better? So after this, I don't see anything better. He can defend with the other rook, but it doesn't help him. He cannot block because I'll take with the rook or with the queen. I'll just take with the queen. And I won the piece. Okay, this is winning. I don't think we have to waste any more time. So, check, move, win. Very nice. Sweet puzzle. What I did, I have no idea. What I did while I was playing this, I must have played something stupid like this one. Okay, this is 7th puzzle. It's again 1500 rated, almost 1600. And from what I see here from my puzzles that I made mistakes is that I was actually too lazy. I mean, these are not especially difficult to solve. It's just that I didn't have patience. And I did actually solve them while watching streams. Yeah, never do that. Okay, let's see what we have here. Black needs 3 moves to promote while I need 2. If we just raise and I take the... if we just raise, if I play, he'll go this way. And then... I remember now. So, I think I played rook here as first move, trying to play this way so I can promote my opponent, stop him, and it was wrong. I think, I'm not sure. So if I play here, he'll defend and I cannot promote, and I think I lose because I cannot stop all these pawns. Even with the rook, rook probably cannot stop 3 pawns. I know for sure that rook cannot stop 2 pawns if they are ahead enough, and king is not able to get through. And what this idea? If I play here with the idea to block this move, so for example, if I play here, he plays there and I block him, he can take, I take, place, 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 take the queen, and this wins for me. But he doesn't have to play that, of course. So if I play here, he can move, 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 queen, queen. But now his queen is defended, although I have queen and the rook, and I can maybe checkmate him. That's a bit hard to see. I wonder if there's something simpler. So queen here, rook here. For example, I have this check. He goes somewhere back. I will have this check. I'm not sure if this is winning since they are supporting each other and I have to... Rook is here. I have to somehow catch the king and checkmate him in the middle of the board. Might be impossible. But at least this could be a draw. Maybe if I can pick up all the pawns and exchange the queens. But I presume we have a win here, so we have this check, in which case he has to move, let's say here. And then I have this check, so he'll lose the rook. So if I give him, that's it. If I give him check here, he has to go closer to his rook. So I take this pawn, he defends the rook. I take this guy, he takes, and now I have move, move, queen, he plays here, and I give him check with the queen, he's here. And the pawn is here. And that's winning because I'll get to this here. Was the pawn here or here? Let's go back. Check, move, check, move, takes, king is here. One move, one move. So I take the queen and he cannot move the pawn. So he has to support the pawn by moving the king. So pawn is here, king is here, my queen is here. And now I think I should have enough time to stop him. So I can, for example, give this check. He can move, say, here, and then I can do the ladder. Check, 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 check. And get close enough. Can I get close enough to win the pawn? I don't want to waste too much time. I think I should be able, because it's 2 squares away. I should be able to go on the diagonal and probably stop him. I'll play it in analysis. Let's see. So, check, check, take, Oh, queen. It's probably end, but we'll go to analysis and see this. Okay, let's go. Check. So check, check, take, take. And here, yeah, it's mate in 25. Good luck seeing that. He plays king to b7, supporting. And engine, there are multiple winning moves, so g2 wins. c5, f1, and g2. c5, f1, and g2. So this check on diagonal, okay. And he goes to b6. Here, he wants to move. I mean, this is easily winning. He'll never promote now. I should have seen that. And this one actually helps him hold the square, so I can try to get closer with the queen or move the king closer. What's the easiest way? Mate 6 is actually to move the queen. Let's learn something. To move the king. So if I move, he of course, let's say he tries this. How do we stop him? We let him take the queen and it's checkmate. So he takes the queen, it's game over. Very nice. Stockfish, you're the boss. So if I move here, he cannot take the queen and he'll be checkmated, so this is mate in 3. Very nice. This is very simple. No need for any checks. In the case I go with checks, it probably takes more. Yeah. For example, he goes here. And I can threaten to take the pawn, so he moves. Check. So blocking this way, he goes here. Check. Yeah, I remember this one. Of course, if he goes here, then we'll go and checkmate him. Like this. And we can do that because he has an extra pawn, so it's not stalemate. Like this. Very nice. The 8 puzzle is again 1600 rated, so that shouldn't be too hard. Let's see what do we have here. Okay, queen is under attack, rook is under attack, and we obviously have some backrank checks. I guess I played just this one and put it over and made a mistake. I mean, this check obviously can be blocked and we can win the pawn. And now it's checkmate. So, check. He has to go back and it's simple checkmate. What was I thinking? Maybe I captured the rook. I likely captured the rook, so I lost my queen, thinking that I can checkmate here when the bishop is defending back. That's likely the mistake I made earlier. So the solution is simple. Check, defense, sack, win. And this is super easy. I guess I missed backwards move. I mean, this rook is undefended, so I might have been too smart and thinking, hey, should I take this? But this doesn't work, let me show you. So if I take this one, it loses because he can take this way, and now this is defended. And if I take this, then can he save himself? How does he save checkmate? Yes, this check. He has checks. That's why he cannot basically stop the checkmates, but he has. I mean, wherever I move, he just check, and now it's How do we checkmate it? Mate in 6. Okay, this is it. And this is the last puzzle for this video. This one is 2200 rated. Let's see, what do we have here? I remember this one. Yeah, actually, I took with some piece here and made a mistake. Okay, so we are some material behind and we are exchange down, so this needs to be winning. Like maybe winning a rook or checkmating the king here, if it's possible. At first glance, rook takes here is interesting. The queen also, and we have this check. Let's stick to procedure, and I'll first calculate with the queen. Queen is the most powerful piece, so it's the most forcing line usually. So if queen takes, it's twice defended. Rook, queen takes. Now basically I have to recover my queen and takes and I lose. And I think it doesn't change if I take with the rook. He takes. I do have this check, intermezzo check, but can I, if I can win the queen without him taking back with the king, that would be great. But so takes, and check, and he has to defend the queen, so he moves here. I have no more pieces, so queen is here, and I don't have any more checks. So this is losing basically. I have to take the queen and okay, losing. So rook doesn't work and queen doesn't work. What else can I do? Any other captures? This capture, check, he just takes, and that's about it. I can give checks, but he can even block this way. Any of these checks is bad. Queen check and rook check here. This check is also does nothing, I think. I mean, he will just take. So, if I do this check, he cannot block it. He can, but then, for example, I have rook takes. No, I lose my queen, so I have to give checks. Check, he takes, check, and I will can take with the queen. My queen is hanging, so if he takes with the queen, I have this check first, that he can take with the rook, and I have this takes, and he takes here, and I lost all my pieces. He stayed. He has his rook left, so this doesn't work. So check here, check, takes. I don't see, if this doesn't work, then there's no hope. Check, okay. Check, moves, check, takes, check, takes. Yeah, that's the same line. This doesn't work. I have this check. Then again, if he just moves back, I have nothing. Okay, this one is tough. I might have missed something with the rook takes. Queen takes absolutely doesn't work. Takes, and I mean I can't do anything. But rook takes. But I don't see something. What am I missing? What am I missing? Just check. And here he goes away. I just win the rook. That's okay. So check. So he wants to block. And then I have this check. And then he puts his queen here. Okay, this is winning, I think. I'll get the exchange and the pawn. And then it's about equal position. Let's see. Check. So he has to play this or I will win the exchange. But even when he plays, he'll just likely give up the rook. So if he plays this way, I have first this check. And the king has to move. For example, if he goes here, I'll win the queen. Okay. So check, he goes here, queen, check, and if he goes something like here, just win the rook again, I'm fine, and I can even maybe win more. And check this way, check if he puts the queen here, I still have this check. He cannot take queen is pinned, so he has to move here. Oh, this is surely good. And then queen is here. I check. Let me go one more. So check. Pawn is here. Check. Queen is here. Check. King has to guard the queen. Check here. Okay, so the bishop is here, my rook is here. He goes there. And now I have to, so I lose my queen. I have to take the queen, he takes back. And I take this with check. It's check because the rook is here, and then let's say move my bishop here, and this is totally winning. I am piece up. Okay, that's it. Check. So check. Then this check. So he moves back. Okay, I didn't calculate that one. But it's the same. Check, and this is check, and I save here. Really nice puzzle. Okay, no wonder that I made a mistake here because I didn't spend nearly enough time. I just went with something like this and hoped that it would work. So these 2000 and harder puzzles really require some calculation. And I guess I was too lazy to do that. And even this one took me maybe way too much time. And maybe it shows even better how important it is to be secure in your own calculations and have good structured system of thinking. So here I could have done much faster this if I hadn't, for example, double calculate these lines. So to sum up in the end, from this batch, maybe the most I've learned is that basically I need to be focused on the chess 100%. It's a bit sad that I made so many mistakes in 15 and 1600 rated puzzles, which are really not that hard to solve. Where I feel that I'm challenged is maybe at 2000s, where positions require more calculation, like this one. And here I can find the solutions, but it takes me some time, and that's a problem. What we want by playing these puzzles is to learn patterns and calculation that can be done quickly. And that's one thing. And the other is, I would say, reliability. So I absolutely don't want to recalculate positions twice. It's just a huge loss of time. That's, I guess, for this batch, and I'll see in the future to make more of these. Maybe I'll try a bit harder to get to tougher puzzles, but having a few easy ones is also nice for beginning. Thank you for watching, and I hope I see you next video.